So I don't want to necessarily abandon the rest of season one's episode 4, 5, and 6 of American Horror Stories. But I haven't really been inspired by the episodes really to even review each individual episode. So I will be just kind of going over them 4, 5, and 6 really quick in this one video. So, episode 4, The Naughty List. A group of influencers face a reckoning after posting a problematic video online. Okay, so that was basically about 4 dudes who are social media whores, as thousands upon millions of people are social media whores, which means they are doing anything and everything for likes, comments, subscriptions, payments, endorsements from social media. And so basically 4 dudes just doing a bunch of random dude shit that's like asshole type shit, douchebag type shit, your typical social media star, I guess, like a boy group or something. So they see this dude jumping off of a bridge, blah, blah, blah. They come in contact with some crazy Santa at the mall, and they decide to regain their followers because, yeah, they seen the dude on the bridge. He jumped. They recorded it, and they look like complete assholes for premiering that video at some type of event. So now they're losing all of their followers. They're losing all their endorsements. They're losing all their fans. So, they go to the mall. They fuck with this crazy Santa, kind of ruin his whole thing. And then the Santa Claus stands up and said, "You'll get what you deserve," talking to the 4 social media dudes. So basically, one by one, these guys are getting killed off by the Santa because why? Santa Claus is a serial killer, and comes to find out that Santa Claus kills other mall Santa Clauses so he can take their spot and have kids sit on his lap. I'm not sure if he's a pedophile. I'm not really sure if they even stated that much. But he's a serial killer. So somehow, some way, crazy Santa finds these 4 dudes who are also, I'm pretty damn sure these guys are gay, but they have pretended to be straight as they pretended to be gay to gain followers. You don't understand what I'm saying? Yeah, go watch the episode real quick. But yeah, crazy Santa slaughters each and every one by one. And so basically episode 4, The Naughty List, is a slasher. How I felt about it, it was cool. It was, it was what it was. So moving on. We have episode 5, Ball. A wife does the unthinkable for a chance at a successful pregnancy. So we have here a couple. The husband, I guess, is a struggling actor. And the wife, she, I believe, has an inheritance, so she has plenty of money. And so, she has pretty much all she wants as far as physically, financial, and whatever. So she wants a baby. She wants a baby. She wants a baby. She's been trying to have a baby for years. She's very unsuccessful in having one. So as she's leaving the clinic from, her getting told that she really doesn't need to do any more inseminations, she's kind of at her wit's end. So the secretary says, "Hey, I've seen you come in here a bunch of times, and I'm not really supposed to be telling you this, but I feel like I should tell you because I see you're struggling and you really want a child." She gives her this figurine, this statue, which off the rip when I seen the statue, I knew what kind of episode this was going to be about, and it was exactly what it was, with a slight silly twist. So she gives her the statue, she puts it up under the bed, her and her mate have sex, blah, 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 blah. We pop up, and here we are 9 months later, and she has a child that is crying crazily, and the mother is obviously very, very unhappy. So her husband, I guess, is picking up more work now, so he's gone a lot more, and so it's just her taking care of this child that she finally realizes, I don't even want this kid anymore. I really thought the one thing that I was missing was a child, and come to find out, I low-key hate this baby. And so with that, she starts to kind of go to counseling because she wants to have a closer bond, kind of figure out why she's feeling like this towards the baby. She's sick of it crying all the time. She just is miserable, basically. So after a while, she starts hearing things. She starts seeing things on the baby monitor. Very weird and odd things start to happen to her. Like, she's hallucinating. She's seeing different things and hearing just weird stuff and seeing figures and shadows. So, after a while, it's becoming heavy. Her husband obviously doesn't believe her. The psychiatrist or whoever she goes to talk to about how she's feeling about her child and being a mother, she doesn't believe her either. So it's the typical one-woman show of her having all these crazy experiences, but nobody around her believes her. So, of course, that makes her look like a fucking nutcase. So, I guess it's a couple years now. The baby's a tad bit older or something like that. Well, maybe not. Maybe the baby's not older, but whatever. It's a couple months later, and she finds that she still has this ball figurine up under the bed, and it's slightly changed, and it looks pretty damn scary. A little more weirder than she originally felt like it was beforehand. So she took the little statue and she puts it in a box and stuffs it in the closet. So further on into the story, it's so much crazy shit going on with her. There's a demon that she has found that is trying to come back and take the baby, and she all ties it into the ball figurine, which it come to find out is a demon, and the demon wants her baby. So there's a dinner party with the husband's or boyfriend, whichever he was to her. A dinner party with his friends, his actor and media movie set friends. And they decide to pull out a Ouija board. How fucking convenient. So yeah, they're sitting there playing on the Ouija board. And of course, the first time around, it's somebody pushing the piece or whatever around to say some stupid fucking word, and I forgot what word it was. It was like, I don't know if it said douchebag or it just said some word like that. And it was like, oh, ha, 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 okay, stop playing. So they put their hand back on the planchette, and now the board spells out, he's mine, or I want him. It was one of the two. And the girlfriend jumps up and is like, see, that's him. He wants my baby. And she just starts flipping out. And the husband gets all upset and he gets pissed off because he's embarrassed that his wife is appearing to go crazy, excuse me, in front of his friends. And so she's basically like, you know what? Fuck you, screw you. I'm seeing all this shit. I know what's going on. You don't see it and you don't believe me, fine, but get the fuck out my face, basically. So, and here's the major fucking spoiler. Come to find out. No, let me go back. So the girlfriend, the mother, went back to the clinic where she was getting her inseminations for a baby, and where she also received the boss statuette from the secretary. She said, look, bitch, you're gonna have to come and help me. You gave me this shit and you said it was gonna work, and it did, but now I got extra stuff going on. You're gonna have to help me figure out how to get rid of it. So the assistant lady's like, yeah, cool, sure. Takes her back to the crib. She's got all type of occult stuff and this, that, and the third, witch shit and all of that. So she's telling her, okay, here, do this spell. Boom. All right. And so the mother says, oh, yeah, I can do the spell tonight. So she goes home by herself with the baby, does the little circle thingy, puts this there, says this, slits her hand open, blah, 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 blah. She says these words, and now there's fog everywhere. And so now she starts to hear stuff. Now she's starting to see something. And boom, the demon appears. Doesn't take the baby, but now the lady's pretty fucking shaken up. And so, the lady's kind of hysterical at this point. So all of a sudden, her husband just pops in from out of fucking nowhere. And the wife just kinds of, threw her arm back and she stabs her husband. How convenient of that. She stabs her husband. So at this point, she's being put into a mental institute. She's in the mental institute. She decides to stay because she feels horrible about stabbing her dude. Said and done. All right, whatever. She's in there chilling. She needs to get her shit together. So husband walks out. Husband walks to the parking garage to get into the car. And guess who he gets into the car with? Yes, the secretary, the assistant that gave the wife the boss statue. So fast forward, we now come to find out that this is all a fucking setup, all a big ass plot against the wife to get all her money. So each and every one of those friends that we met at the dinner who all played on the Ouija board, they were all in on each and every part of making it seem like the wife was going crazy. So the demon was one of the friends dressed up in an elaborate costume. The fog and the statues were a part of the set. And they had a fog machine, and the woman actually sat and she carved each and every one of these statues specifically for this. Everybody had a role in this to set up the wife so they can put her away for good and take all the money. So we find this out after the wife's been put into the mental hospital, and now the secretary and the fucking snake ass husband and his friends are all cheering and toasting. Oh yeah, we set her up good, blah 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 blah. So when do we get our cut of the money? And he's like, well, that won't be for a couple months because blah, 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 blah. Everything has to go through, all of that talk. So, while they're cheering and congratulating and talking about the scheme and how they did and blah, 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 and how everything is going as planned, smoke starts to slowly fill the room. And so one of the friends is like, yo, didn't you take the smoke machine back? Like, why is it smoky in here? They starting to hear stuff. And the light's flickering. Okay, so stop playing around. Why are you still, she's already gone away. You don't still have to be, fucking around with the lights and using all this special effects and stuff. Because at this point, they think they're still fucking around with the special effects stuff like they were doing to the wife that's in the mental hospital. So, come to find out, boom, a real demon shows up. The demon that they were pretending to be throughout this whole fucking episode of American Horror Stories, Ball, episode 5. Come to find out, wife is in the mental hospital, but she is still trying to do this ritual. So she pulls the paper out with the spell on it, and she's sitting on the floor of the hospital, and she is doing the ritual. But instead of getting rid of the demon like she first thought it was supposed to do, it was to actually summon the demon. And so she summoned the demon to basically go and get revenge. You know what? I think I said that part wrong. She didn't purposely summon it to get revenge, because again, at that point she didn't know that she was getting played. But she summoned it thinking that she was trying to get rid of it, because I guess she thought, my baby's still out there and I don't want him to fuck around and get the baby, and I'm not around to help. So in real life, she summoned the demon, and now the demon is back at the crib, and now the demon is basically getting revenge on her behalf by killing her husband and all the friends that were involved, pulling out their guts, ripping them apart, doing all that type of stuff. Okay, so the last couple scenes are the wife is now back home, the baby is all good and well, and oh, who is this now? The demon. The demon says whatever it says in whatever language it's saying it in, and the woman was like, something, 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 but I want another baby. So, very last scene, we're seeing the wife lay in bed. The wife lay in bed, and the demon is climbing on top of her. I guess she wants another demon baby. So, oh yeah, and the husband, he didn't die. He is actually in jail, pretty much just going crazy, because I'm pretty sure he's being haunted by the demon and everything that's fucking going on, and he's in jail, so I'm sure he doesn't like it at all. So yeah, that was episode 5, Ball. Now we're moving on to episode 6, and this is the episode that I just got finished watching. This episode was the latest release, and they release on Thursdays, so this is the latest one. And again, this is episode 6, and it's called Pharaoh. A family goes on a camping trip unaware of what is lurking in the woods. Okay, so this one, I mean, when you read the title, you can kind of understand basically what kind of episode this is going to be, and I knew exactly what kind of episode this was going to be. Something's going to be in the woods, because camping is never a good thing to do. So yeah, mother, father, and a young boy, maybe about 2 years old or something, they go off to a camping trip. And dad sets up this really elaborate tent with a portable potty and everything else, and lights and everything all around the tent. And so they're in the tent, a couple minutes in of the episode, and they hear something, of course. Nope, they don't go out and see it. They just have sex and end the night off there. So the next day, they're out hiking, kind of just playing around. The little boy, he kind of scampers off, and the dad is trying to, like pop up from behind a tree and scare him. But they can't find their son now. They can't find him. So, they're panicked. Where is he? Calling his name. Minutes go by, hours go by, and now days, and now weeks, and now months, And now years have gone by with absolutely no luck on finding out what happened to their son. So again, it's years later, and now they're coming back. They're deciding to take somebody's offer, saying that they possibly have found their son. And the mother is just like, no, we've been scammed so many times with people just wanting our money, but not being able to actually help us find our son, because for some reason they still believe he's alive. So the dad was like, well, this guy actually found our son's specific type of compass necklace that he had on his neck. So maybe he does know where he's at. And so the mom was like, you know what? Fuck you. But fuck it, let's just go. You done pulled me all this way, and I'm just kind of over it, but I'll go with you. What the fuck? I'll just go with you. And at this point, they are no longer married because losing their son obviously took a toll on them. So they're going up to the woods with this guy who said he possibly knows where their son is located. They're following him through the woods. The ranger told him, don't go out there. It's crazy shit out there, blah, 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 blah. Of course, they go out there anyway. And so pretty much as soon as they get into the thick of the woods, excuse me, they see a bunch of people just dead, just laying everywhere, just dead, just bloody, pulled apart, whatever, just dead. And so the dude that they went up there with, turns out he was a scammer. All he wanted was their money. And, that's all he wanted. He wanted to just scam them out of their money. So, yeah, I'm rushing this one because it's kind of just like, it wasn't a real complex story at all. So the scam artist was like, you know what, I can't let y'all walk back out after just telling y'all that I was about to scam y'all and take y'all credit card numbers and sell them and do this and do that. So he was about to shoot the wife and the husband, ex-husband. So, of course, instantly they are saved simply because one of the so-called dead things pops up and bites the scammer's neck. And yeah, scammer dude is starting to die. And as he's dying, he sees a whole bunch of weird kind of human-like creatures starting to run towards him. Yeah, and as he's shooting, of course, he shoots the ex-husband in the leg, which slows the wife and him down from getting away. But they do get away, and they arrive back at the cabin with the ranger. So, yeah, skip ahead and past all the conversation between the ranger and the two. Now, finally, these things have finally caught up to the cabin, and getting a real good look at these things, they are like humans mixed with like crab, mixed with like wolves or something. Like some of these creatures look like humans, but they also have like weird crab arms or something. I don't know. It's kind of disturbing looking, but you can tell they're not fully human, and you can tell they're not full creature, but they're definitely a mixed breed of something. So yeah, they eat up the ranger and the ex-husband and wife. They make it out of the cabin, because at this point the cabin is like full of these weird creature things. And so as we're going outside, we see a nice big chair full of skulls, like a skull chair. That's exactly what it was, a skull chair with different human bones and body parts and stuff like that. And then we see is that a boy? We see a boy sitting in the chair with a crown on. He's got some fur. His teeth are real fucked up. And he's just sitting there chilling. So the parents run out and they see, well, who is this boy sitting here? And then they look and they see the specific compass necklace around this boy's neck. And then the dad has a flashback of his son kind of just like playing peekaboo or whatever. Spoilers too. Playing peekaboo or whatever. And it was just like, oh, that's our son. And so when they lost him, he was about like maybe 2 years old or something. He was a toddler. And so now the boy looks like he's probably maybe about 10 years old or something. And so he just looks. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't get up. He just looks. And so the mom and dad are just looking at him like, oh my gosh, it's our son. They're just kind of stuck in amazement and just looking at him and kind of reminiscing, hoping that he remembers them. And I guess they kind of think, well, yeah, maybe he does remember us. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, do y'all not remember that it's a whole bunch of fucking human crab beasts just around y'all, like chasing y'all, that are going to possibly eat y'all? Who gives a fuck about this is your son? This is not your son no more. He been gone for years, and looking at him, he don't give a fuck about y'all, so y'all need to get moving. And so, while they're so in awe of their lost son, one of the head creatures, starts speaking this weird ass language, and he was basically like, who are these people? And then the boy, I don't think he said anything at all. He just, was looking at him. And so the rest of the creatures start, kind of crowding slowly in on the ex-husband and wife. And then, eventually, boom, they pounce on top of the couple, and they pull their intestines out, and they pull their guts out, and they're just nibbling and noshing and just going all in like a fucking Golden Corral feast and shit. And now the boy's just like, yeah, this is what we do. So, and again, I'm like, yeah, that's not your son anymore. He's completely not, his thinking is not human anymore, especially if he's being raised by these weird ass creatures. I would not trust him. It doesn't matter if that was my son or not. It's not his child anymore. So, they get gobbled up and eaten by the creatures that were surrounding them. And like some blood splatters onto the boy's face, and he just, takes his finger, wipes the blood, and sticks it in his mouth, and that was the end of that. So, yeah, that was episode 6, Pharaoh. So, yes, again, I just threw in 4, 5, and 6 all in one video, simply because it's not a whole lot that really was needing, in my opinion, to be reviewed, because again, in my opinion, those episodes weren't, super mind-bending or super interesting, for me anyway. So I didn't want to just like not have any type of words and review them at all. So I just basically just shortened it all down and gave my opinion on each episode. So, so far, my favorite episode from this new American Horror Stories season would definitely be episode 1, And episode 1 title is Rubber Woman Part 1. Now, Part 2 was episode 2, and that was also obviously tagged in with Part 1. But Part 2 for me, I could have done without. Part 1 so far has been my favorite episode of the season. So yeah, give the show a watch. You know, the episodes aren't too long and they get kind of straight to the point with the action as well, so that's always great. And that is my review of American Horror Stories Season 1.